Hey, welcome back to Ping Pong Flakes. My name is Chris Wong. It has been a really disappointing 2 days. Now, I'm not talking about box office figures for Justice League. I'm not talking about the reviews for Justice League. None of that. This is about an article that came out on the Wrap, and most of you have probably already read it. I've already seen it yesterday. There are a lot of my YouTube colleagues have already talked about it, and I just want to give my own opinion and thoughts on it, if you will, because it really bugs the heck out of me. For one, I've also defended Warner Brothers. I've defended every decision they thought they were making that was right for the movie, that was right by Zack Snyder, because those articles that came out that said Zack Snyder had got Joss Whedon on, did his blessing, they're making sure Zack Snyder's vision came out true. You and I know when we all, everyone watched the Justice League, it was a great movie. For me, yes, it was a great movie for 9 out of my 10 friends who didn't like Snyder's vision, and it was just like a comic book came out to life. But we can tell that it was unfinished, and we can tell it's not the ending of a trilogy that Zack Snyder had begun. Movie. It was not the same continuation. It was loosely connected in certain story elements, but it was not what we had been promised. Not that we thought of what Zack Snyder would have done. It was completely opposite. I mean, it started off like a Zack Snyder, and then it ended in totally something else. And that movie still wasn't seen finished. And now we know why. Because according to the Wrap, there's been a long history of negativity that stems straight from Man of Steel. And it has to do with these executives, because Christopher Nolan approached Zack Snyder to have him do the Man of Steel film. And yes, for the good reason they did not touch Man of Steel. And for a lot of people, that was a great, fantastic movie. But for the other half, I'd say the majority out there, it was not a good movie. They did not like this Superman. They did not like this movie. But they continued on. Batman v Superman happened, and they got a little bit involved. Warner Brothers got a little bit more involved, and that's why we got the theatrical cut, and it wasn't the masterpiece, the director's cut that we got. And I say masterpiece loosely because that's really for the minority of fans. Even I have to agree that my own subjective love for these films is not majority. Like I said, 9 out of my 10 friends did not like it. Okay, and I know there's people clamoring signatures for the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. I wanted to. I wanted badly, because I needed to finish off this trilogy the way it's supposed to finish off. But 150,000 signatures, 150,000 people, we gotta believe that's still a minority. There's 2 million people living in Hawaii. 150,000 is nothing compared to the entire United States, compared to the world. And so I'm just saying that even if we really wanted to, we have to admit that the majority of the world likes a lighter tone, likes the Marvel-esque type movie. And that's what they catered to. Yes, they pandered to it. Geoff Johns was brought on board, Kevin Sugihara, all the CEOs, Emmerich, Silverman, whoever. They all came on, brought on Joss Whedon, and tried to change Justice League. But it was too late. Joss Whedon only had till November. Only had to November to change something that's more Zack Snyder-y to something that's more like a Marvel type film. And it wasn't enough time. So I don't really blame Joss Whedon. He tried to do his best of what the execs told him to do. He tried to get it to them, but he didn't have time. And you can tell, if he had more time, that mustache would have been gone. There would have been more story development, more character development. Maybe the story would have been expanded a little bit longer. Maybe they had more depth to it. Maybe it wouldn't seem half-baked. But this is what we got. And there is nobody to blame but Kevin Sugihara, the CEO they all answered to. The man, him and Emmerich, in fact, The people who didn't want to push Justice League back so they can get their bonuses. Their selfish acts sabotage this movie. I know it's not a bomb because it's over 500 million and maybe going up. But it wasn't the critical achievement, it wasn't the final achievement that a lot of people expected out of a Justice League film. And you have all these negativity towards it right now. Zack Snyder fans don't love it. A lot of the critics don't love it. And half of the population kind of love it. They can sort of see it step into the direction that they want. But it's half-baked. It's halfway there. They didn't even get to finish that vision. They sabotaged Zack Snyder's. They sabotaged Joss Whedon's. They sabotaged this film franchise. Maybe. I'm hoping it turns around by Aquaman. But the one thing for sure out of all this, that CEO's got to go. Kevin, you got to kick that SOB out of this place. Get him out of this company because he is a parasite and he's completely demolishing their point of view of having it. It was supposed to be a director-driven company. Well, that is bull. It's so disappointing. I am so saddened and angry because we've been defending them. We've been defending them blindly, and I admit we were wrong. When that movie came out, I did enjoy it, but I knew that something was wrong. I knew that something was not right. It wasn't complete Zack Snyder. It wasn't even a complete film. I enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it, but it didn't reach that critical achievement that even like a Wonder Woman could have done. It's not going to reach the $1 billion club when a Justice League movie should have reached the $1 billion club. And 500 million is not something to sneeze at. But we all know, be truthful for ourselves that this wasn't the success that everybody wanted. It actually divided more fans than united anybody. Divided the DCEU into two separate groups. We were one group, and now we're two separate groups. My hope is that the board gets back together, takes care, clean house of whoever was involved in making these very bad decisions. What they should have done was that they've come this far. Zack Snyder is an auteur director. He was forward thinking. These movies, people aren't ready for them, and I want people as the general public. But you know what? I'm glad he's gone. Why? For him. Because I hate to see him being dragged through the mud again, through these corporate ladders, and them chewing and pulling apart his vision, his artistic direction. I hope he goes work for a company that actually respects him, respects his work, lets him do whatever he wants. I'm hoping we'll get the Zack Snyder cut so we can truly see what he really envisioned for the end of this trilogy. But I'm glad he's gone, and only for his sake, for his benefit. One person said on Twitter, Zack Snyder deserves the world, but the world doesn't deserve him. Not yet. I don't think they're ready. But best of luck to this new vision that Geoff Johns, who is hopefully getting more control over this. I hope this does not have an effect on Aquaman. I hope this does not have an effect on Wonder Woman 2, Shazam, and I hope it doesn't have any effect on DCU at the end of the day. I truly hope that even whatever direction the DCU keeps going, I hope to see more stories from the DCEU, and I hope to one day see Zack Snyder's films at another company, or a company that actually respects him, or if they learn to respect him from now on. Because I hate to see his vision, his creativity dragged through the mud once again. Alright guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'm sure a lot of you have many thoughts on this. Please share in the comments down below. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.